course, predictably, I didn't. Yes, it is. So yeah, I woke up at about 9, I believe, and it's 10:30 right now. So I laid in bed for 45 minutes or so, half an hour in the night. I had to get up and figure out how to set everything up. So, and yeah, now it's 10:30. I would have liked to have started at 9, but it's I predicted I wouldn't be able to wake up. And I only decided to do this stream this morning at midnight last night, right? At midnight, I was like, let's do a tea stream tomorrow. So that's what we're doing. I have my Mandalorian cup. I have my tea of choice this morning here. I have my hot water at 200 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the general ideal temperature for most standard black teas. I've got my perfect teaspoon from David's Tea. Just a kettle. This kettle's okay. I've had a couple kettles over the years. This one's fine. The nice thing about this kettle is that it's really wide on the top, so it's easy to clean, which is why I chose it. I don't like it as much as my old kettle, but my old kettle exploded. And I don't like it as much as my previous kettle before the old kettle, but that one also exploded, so I'm sure this one will explode at some point. We'll see. And then at that point, we'll get it. So yeah, we're here. It's Saturday morning. I predict there's going to be a whole lot of activity this morning. I think it's a little too late for people to still be in bed, especially since I'm on a time zone that's a bit behind the rest of the world. About pretty far, one of the furthest behind time zones, I think, PST. Everyone's way ahead, so it's lunchtime or afternoon for most people by now, so people are doing things. So, which is why it would be good to start these streams at 8, but we'll see. my chances of that happening are low. So what do we have today? Today we have some tea from the tea house in Los Rios in California. I went here a couple weeks ago, I believe. I went to the location and I got some kind of scent tastes and teas. This one is quite interesting. This one is called the Buckingham Palace. This was quite expensive. I believe it was. I believe this was around $30. So this was quite expensive, but it's actually a lot of tea. It's 100 grams, 3.5 ounces. This will make you probably like. You could probably make close to 100 grams of tea. How many grams of it is? I have no idea. And then you can reuse leaves for this every time. So this will make this. It was expensive, but it was literally full all the way to the tip top, which a lot of times in these tins they're 70% full, right? This one's absolutely packed full. So I was pleasantly surprised by how full this one was. But yeah, and it's quite good. So this is the Buckingham Palace Garden Party, as I mentioned, which is a loose leaf black tea. And I believe I was told by the tea lady that this is one of the blends that they actually serve at Buckingham Palace. I don't know if that's true. Not this exact brand or anything, but the blend itself. And it's the character of this is according to the tag, is a flavory with medium body, delicate Earl Grey, and jasmine notes, perfect for afternoon garden parties. And the ingredients are black tea, green tea, cornflower and jasmine petals, natural flavors. I don't know what the natural flavors are, but so what this is it's basically an Earl Grey, right? We say it's a black tea with cornflower. So cornflower is a common additive to Earl Grey. I don't think cornflower really adds any taste, but what it does add is blue petals. Blue petals to the tea, which just look pretty. I believe it's just a visual thing. And then what's interesting is that this is a blend of black and green tea, so it's got a little bit more depth of flavor to it than just a pure Earl Grey. It doesn't have that heavy bergamot flavor that a lot of Earl Grey will have, and it doesn't have the green kind of cuts a little bit of the bitterness of a black tea by adding a bit of vegetable-y base to it. I believe it's, if I had to guess, I'd say it's a, it looks like a more Japanese style green, I would say, and I think it tastes like a Japanese style. It's a little more and like a Chinese style vegetable. You can see in there the blue cornflower petals, and also if you see right here, this lighter colored petal, that's going to be the jasmine petals. So we've got the two flowers in there, that being the cornflower and jasmine, as well as the leaves themselves, the black, which I can't really pick out which ones are the green and which ones are the black because they look pretty much the same. I think they come from the same plant, right? Pretty much all tea comes from the same plant. It's just the question of how it's aged and such. So there's that. I'll give it a little smell. Good morning, monkey. Lovely to see you this morning. Barely morning. It's barely still morning. Got another hour and a half of morning for me. I think everyone else is far past morning. I'm really but this. It has a pretty good. It has a very Earl Grey-y smell to it, right? That's going to be the bergamot smell. I don't really smell a whole lot of the jasmine because there's not a whole lot of jasmine. How am I this morning? I am doing well. I just decided last night at like midnight, 1 in the morning, that I wanted to do a morning stream, so I tried to get up, but it didn't really pan out as early as I hoped. But it's not 11. I'm not up at 11, so that's something. And so I woke up about an hour ago. I still have a bit of my morning voice. I think it's a bit deeper than my usual voice because it's still warming up. But yeah, how are you doing today? I think it's gonna be evening for you wherever you are. My tea water's quite hot, so I'm gonna keep it on this towel. I gotta get a better camera setup for this. Like I said, this is kind of impromptu somewhat. It's beeping, let me unplug it. It's like almost 3 a.m. Okay, so not time for tea for you. You would not be wanting to have tea right now. Sounds fine. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, thanks for popping in. By all means, feel free to go to sleep. I don't know how late you stay up. 3 a.m. is pretty standard bedtime for me on the weekends. We have our the BGM's a touch loud. Oh, because I just added this BGM like right before stream. I had another one that I usually use, and I just added this one in last second because I thought it would be more apt, and I kind of forgot to change the volume down, so thank you. I'm gonna do 1.5 spoonfuls. Here's that. And you can get a little bit better view right there. Yeah, thank you for telling me. Hopefully it wasn't blasting me too much. I think it was pretty darn loud. So you can see the blue here. The blue petals are the cornflower. The jasmine, the lightish color ones. I just spilled a bunch of it on my desk. Oh well. And then the green and black, these are the darker leaves. I need to get a little bit better camera set up. I need a better lighting thing too. It's pretty bright in my room. I have my windows open, but it's not really translating well to my iPhone camera. It does smell quite good. Let's see if I can salvage some of this tea that I dropped on the table. but I'm gonna do 1.5 spoonfuls. One's enough, but I'm predicting I'm gonna have this tea at least twice today. So I'm gonna reuse the leaves, so I'm putting a little bit more in so that I can get a little bit more out of it. And then we're gonna go ahead and pour our hot water. It was 200 degrees when I brewed this. It's gonna be a little cooler now, but we're nice and slow. See, it's steaming up. And it's already a really nice dark color, getting that from the black teas in here, which tend to color the tea pretty quickly versus like a green or a white tea. And I think we're gonna go at about 600 milliliters. That's enough for a cup. We'll go a little bit over. Actually, we'll go a lot over. Now this tea is brewing tea is quite relaxing. Yeah, I agree. I make tea pretty much every day, not always on the weekends, but usually almost every day on the weekdays at work. I have 2 tea kind of inventories. I have one at work and one at home, and I just have tons of different tea varieties, so I get different teas on the weekends versus the weekdays. So this will brew for about 5 minutes, a bit longer than a green. The instructions on it say steeped from 3 to 7. I don't put sugar or milk or anything in my tea, so I don't want to brew it for the full 7 minutes because I don't want it to be bitter. I want it to be nice and mild, so that I can just drink it straight up. I'm gonna leave my kettle here. I don't think it's dangerous. I have a lot of like sensitive electronics on my desk, so I'm a little worried, but I shouldn't spill it. Famous last words, right? I should probably put this also on the coaster, just so that it doesn't mess up my table. Stevia, honey at times, yeah. I usually don't add anything. I'm a bit of a tea purist. I just want to drink the tea as the tea is. But these tea leaves are quite high quality. Normally, the only thing I drink with that sugar is green tea. Yeah, you don't really want to add anything to green tea, because the green tea is such a delicate flavor. Zefilor writes it down. Yeah. A lot of times with green teas, I will wash the leaves ahead of time, which a lot of people don't know that you can do. And by wash the leaves, I mean I will pour the hot water over the cup or if I have a strainer, the cup, of course, or the kettle, or I don't know. This is the kettle. I don't know what I'd call this. This is also a kettle, yes, but not really. An infuser, I guess you'd call this. You pour the hot water into the infuser, just a little bit, like enough to make like a quarter of a cup, right? And then you just dump that water out, right? So that it'll rinse all of the dust and all of the extra little bits off the tea, which is a little more important with green teas, especially like green teas from China, because of the process they do. They're a little more, the leaves will be a little dustier. Sorry, that morning voice is coming out. The leaves will be a bit dustier, so especially if I'm getting tea directly sourced from China, like with Yunnan sourcing, I will almost always rinse the leaves because they can be a bit, I won't say dirty, but like I said, they'll be dusty, right? And then with Japanese teas as well, since the tea leaves themselves with Japanese tend to be very fine, like very finely chopped. I like to kind of filter some of those out so that I don't get as much of a dirty cup of tea with like a ton of leaves floating in it, right? That'll just like slip through the strainer, right? Because the Japanese tea leaves are very fine and they just kind of get everywhere. And then I end up with a teacup that looks more like a soup, right? Hey, good morning, Deontay. It's been a long time no see. Saw your new PFP on Twitter recently. Now it's nice to kind of see you kicking around still. But yeah, these leaves, a lot of times with Western brands, like with brands that are American sourced, well, they're not sourced in America because I don't really think they make a whole lot of tea leaves anywhere but China, India, and Japan. But the tea brands from America will tend to be more rigorous with their sorting and their cleaning, so you can kind of just make a cup of tea without rinsing the leaves, which is why I didn't rinse the leaves for these, because they're already like very clean. There's no dust on these leaves at all. There's no like little tiny like bits of leaf or root or stem, you know. They just kind of are ready to go. And I don't really know why that is, but it is. believe we're gonna be... I didn't really pay attention. I was bad. I didn't pay very good attention when I poured this, but... Smells ready, and it looks ready. It's a nice dark reddish color, right? Morning, long time no see. Hope you've been doing well. Yes, finally made a tea time stream. I finally streamed a tea time stream for the like 3rd time in like 2 years. I'm gonna pour the tea. Oh, look at that beautiful reddish brown color. Loving the Star Wars mug. Yeah, these are Starbucks. It's limited time exclusives. My camera's freaking out. Beautiful red color. Oh no, there goes the top of my teacup into my tea. Good thing I washed that recently. And it's a good thing that didn't spill everywhere. Make it a... The cover wanted a sip of tea. Yeah, that's happened many times before. So yeah, we have our tea here. I'm gonna have the leftover this in frames. It's nice. So I think it doesn't feel too hot because I gabbed and talked for a while, so the water cooled down a bit. Yeah. It's just about right temperature. It needs to be a tiny bit cooler, and then it'll be good. I have no snacks this morning. My fridge is completely empty, aside from a frozen jar of soup that I made months ago, which is probably still good. Half a bag of veggie chicken nuggets. Half a bag of like the not crinkle, like the French fries that are like crinkly but flat. I don't know what those are called. And I think that's literally it. What's your favorite snack to usually eat with tea? A lot. I mean, a lot of times I'll have like a bagel or like a donut because that's what we'll usually have. We have bagels at least once once a week at work. We'll have bagels, right? Veggie chicken nuggets sound good right now. Yeah, have you tried the ones from Trader Joe's? The Impossible chicken nuggets? They are so good. They are easily as good as like a normal chicken nugget, and they're veggie. Favorite snack? Yeah, usually a bagel. I like to have the hot water whenever I eat like bread related stuff. I like to have the hot water to help my throat a little bit, because I can get like kind of food allergy-y for some reason. There was a treat that we had. A treat we had in Japan for the tea ceremony that we went to. That was I think it was like a little, let me see if I can find one. Treat? Treat? T-R-E-A-T? Japanese tea tree. If I can find a picture, I'll put it on. Not tray. Treat. It's like a kind of a little block of sugar, basically. Sugar block. I think it has like honey, maybe? Honey. Japanese tea ceremony snack. Sugar. So interesting in Japan how often was it like mochi? It was like harder. It was like crunchier. It's so interesting, all the tea places I go into Japan, they'd be like, ask what like my extra thing would be, and it would be like this, like usually like those sugar that are shaped like like stars, you know, those like bowl of like multicolored star sugars. I would never eat them because like I just wanted to be plain, but it was so interesting how they always give you those over there. Can't find it. It's like a little square. What kind of sweets are used for a tea set? Mochi. Was it a mochi? Ohigashi? What is an ohigashi? No, not quite. Was it honey? It might have been honey related. This looks kind of. It was like a little block, a little cube. I mean, it looked kind of like a mochi, like little mochi brick, but it wasn't. It was like a little caramelized sugar thing. Sugar brick. What's it called? I don't know. I can't find it. I'm surprised I can't find it. I've looked it up before, and I found it before, but I cannot right now. But essentially, it was like a little tiny cube, like a long cube. I don't know what you'd call that. A rectangle, a long rectangular cube that had sugar and I think honey, and it was a bit crunchy on the outside, right? So it was like caramelized, I suppose. And it was pretty good. Showing off back to my cup. Yeah, I've got these. My sister gave me this, the Mandalorian cup from Starbucks. Oh yeah, it even says Starbucks. It's got the Moff Gideon, the blacksmith lady. I don't know what her name is. I don't know if she has a name. Getting a phone call. Thought I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Leave me alone. I put my other phone on Do Not Disturb. My hand cam phone's on Do Not Disturb, but my tracking one isn't. There's some Imperial credits, I think, right? Mandalorian symbol. His name's like Grief Karska or something? Grief Karska? Something like that. IG, whatever, the droid. This dude on the thing. The Razor Crest ship. Some stormtroopers, Baby Yoda, and what's the Mandalorian's name? Din Djarin, right? Yeah, Din Djarin or something. But yeah, I was thinking about buying a cool looking glass cup. I think if I keep doing tea streams, I think I should get a glass cup so that you can see the actual tea inside the cup. I think that would make a lot more sense. But for now, I have this cup. I only have like 3 or 4 cups in my house. I almost brought up my rat cup. Let me grab my rat cup. Oh, I had this cup too. Okay, wait. I gotta check out this cup. Okay. These are cool. These are very cool. And then check out this guy. Wait. So this is a special cup. This is an exclusive cup that you can only get. You can only get this Ghibli cup with the cat bus at a tour. There's a certain tour. I booked him on Viator when I was in Japan, and this is that's the only place you can get this cup. They have an exclusive partnership with the Ghibli Museum in Mitaka, where you can only get these cups from them by joining the tour and being a part of the tour. So this is an exclusive cup, and I don't want to use it because it's so cool. It's 2002 Studio Ghibli, made in Japan. It's got the raised cat bus right on the side. It's got a really nice gradient up the side into the white and then into the blue, and then you've got these dots here to symbolize stars, I suppose. I've never used this cup, and I don't know if I ever will because it's just cool. And it's got like a really interesting handmade feeling. Like it's really scratchy, like sandpapery, right? It's not soft. It's not glazed, right? So it's cool, and I don't really want to use it because it's cool. And then I also have this rat cup. This one is glazed, unlike the other one. pendant of the rat. And it's what this is my sister got this for me in Bavaria, perhaps? There's let me see if I can find it. Rat Castle. There's like a castle. Might have been Germany. Frederick the Castle Rat in Ljubljansky. Friedrich the Castle Rat. Let's take a look at Frederick the Castle for a moment. So there's a city. Let me get out my. I want to just window capture. Chrome application. Of the Google variety. Here, Frederick the Castle Rat. Friedrich. I need to put this on top. Let's take a look at Frederick the Castle Rat for a moment. So supposedly, this is in Ljubljana, which I don't know where that is, but supposedly the whole like town and the castle and stuff has this rat motif going on. Ljubljana. Don't know where it is. It's in Slovenia. Okay. And they're like a rat themed city. I don't know if they would agree with that statement, but supposedly they have rat related stuff everywhere. For Friedrich the Castle Rat, Ljubljana is in Slovenia, which is, who knows? I don't know where Slovenia is. I've never been over there. It's next to Liechtenstein, maybe? It's over here somewhere. It's under Austria and above Croatia, and to the right of Italy. Next to Bosnia and Herzegovina. I've heard that word before, but I've never said it. Herzegovina. It doesn't sound right, does it? Sounds like a fun place. Yeah, it was. Supposedly it was cool. The rat would love it there. Boo the rat. Yeah. That's right, literally smack dab in the middle of Slovenia. Is it the capital? Yes, it is the capital. Rat capital of the world. Ljubljana. If I go to the wiki, will it tell me about the rat? Control F, rat. Decorated. Rat space. No rat? So no rat. Brick skateboard. Friedrich the Castle Rat. He's got like little books and stuff. Is that a Frederick the Castle Rat pendant? It sure is. And there's like, look, this whole store is all just like Castle Rat memorabilia. He's got his little book. And I can't remember the story about it. I think it was something to do with like, there's a siege and there's like a rat or something. I don't know. Maybe I should look it up. Story. I'm gonna take a sip of tea while I'm looking it up. Oh. Frederick is a cute, benevolent rat who is more than 500 years old. Wow. He is named after Emperor Frederick III of Habsburg, who founded the Ljubljana diocese and first established a fortress on the Castle Hill. Our Frederick lives on the Castle Hill even before that, and was one of the first inhabitants of Ljubljana Castle. His favorite place to live was in Erasmus Tower, where there was a dungeon for disobedient nobles. He was a confidant with whom the prisoners liked to share their stories. Since he was dexterous and quick, he could move around unnoticed throughout the castle and secretly observe the events from dark corners. Thus, he had a good insight into everything that was happening and eventually became the castle chronicler. For centuries, Frederick has been convinced that he has noble blood, which is why he walks on two legs. For a rat, He is well built, what's that mean, and tall, but the years have added a touch of gray to his whiskers. Although he knows how to cast a dirty look, he usually wears a good-humored smile on his face. After 500 years, Frederick still resides in Ljubljana Castle. He carefully records all the goings-on, knowing that they will one day be of interest to people, just as his stories from the past enthrall visitors today. Frederick has become so famous that he has now got his own picture book, which was presented to us by the illustrator Gorazd Van, on the occasion of its publication. So yeah, a little bit of Frederick the Castle Rat. He's a well-built for a rat, whatever that means. That sounds kind of weird. Yeah, a cool gentleman with a handsome, well-built rat. Yeah. So here he is, on the cup. So that's the story behind the Frederick cup. Feels a bit strange to call a rat well-built, handsome, with a touch of gray. Knows how to throw a dirty look. So I'm about 60% of the way finished with my tea. And the rule for these should be when the tea is gone, the stream must end immediately. So yeah, those are my my 3 cups. I have one more cup, but it's not that interesting. But yeah, maybe I'll add a 4th cup to my inventory. Maybe well, okay, let me pull out one more cup. Okay, basically I'm a liar. I found 3 more cups that I forgot about. Okay, so I have this cup, which is like a tankard. Previously, I had a cup just like this one from Target. The one I had was a little different. It was all black and it had kind of, again, a scratchy surface, kind of like that other one. But it's a big cup. But I really liked that cup, and it was my go-to cup. I'm the kind of person who will just use one cup for like years. Or like one fork and one plate. I kind of like just being a oneer. But I actually haven't even used this one. I bought it when I just blew up the previous one of this when I exploded. One of my many casualties in my tea journey. Usually it's the infuser that explodes. I've exploded 3 or 4 infusers. But usually I just drop them on the floor. Let me see. I think I have pictures. I think I have a memorial for my old infuser. Wait, let me see if I can find it on Twitter real quick. I think I titled the post like "Goodbye, Cephisonis. Goodbye, my friend." I think I probably spelled friend wrong. I don't know how to spell friend. Kettle? I probably have it somewhere. I have pictures of it. But I remember when I exploded it, I made like an entire like video memorial for it. I'll send a picture. I'll put a picture of it in right now. OBS in here. Boom. This was my favorite one. This was my previous one. Isn't it beautiful? It's got just such a cool little shape. Just sitting on top of the chat. Oh wait, one up there. Look at that beautiful boy. He exploded. I gotta find it. tea. I might have deleted the post for some reason. I tend to like delete posts after a couple days just to keep my timeline like fresh. Explode. What if I type up explode in Twitter? I've exploded a lot of things over the years. Maybe in my movies. I moved all my movies to backup, so probably. I have my other hard drive plugged in, I think. Backup drive. Oh no, I changed that to a different backup. Maybe it's hidden. Yeah, my power is to just explode things by dropping them on the floor. Well, it's not that important, but I shattered this on the floor and it exploded. But it's quite, I love the shape of this one. The only problem with this one was that the opening was a bit tight, so it was kind of hard to get my hand in there and clean it. But I like this tea kettle quite a bit. My current one's quite the downgrade visually, I'd say. Screen. Yeah, this guy's quite the visual downgrade, I'd say. But this one is easier to clean because it's got a huge opening at the top, right? You take the whole thing out. Very easy to clean this one. I can like fit both my hands in there. Yeah, this is a utilitarian one. So yeah, there's this mug, which I threw on the ground on accident. Didn't throw it on the ground. I dropped it on the ground and accident exploded. This one was what I bought when I moved into this apartment and I needed a cup ASAP. I just grabbed this one at Target. Yeah, it's cool. It's got oranges on it. And it's these cups are really cool because like they keep things warm forever and they are cool on the outside still. So these ones are cool. And then the next cup I have is quite special. Quite nice. Actually. I have a Yeti cup. With the words Rocking J Ranch on it. And Texas, USA. My parents, well, my dad, got these custom made for the family quote-unquote ranch to represent. I've never used this one. I should, because this is these Yeti cups are like pretty much some of the nicest cups you can get. Really high quality. It's really heavy. Feels nice. It looks nice. But I've never used it because I'm too scared to use it. But yeah, custom Yeti. Oh, and then my water cup. I might as well show off my water cup. This is just a cup. This is also like a Yeti-like cup. This is a nice cup too that I lifted, so to speak, from a corporate convention I was working at. I don't know what Alhi is. Hey, Amarin, nice to see ya. But I don't know what Alhi is. I'm repping them. Clearly, let me look them up. What do they do? I think they do like, I don't know what they do. I have no idea. Global resorts, luxury global resorts and hotels. Sure. So I know nothing about them, but they were guests at a corporate convention that I was doing audiovisual work at, and then they had these, right? They were giving these out to people, and then when they left, there was boxes, and they had a bunch of like leftover junk that they didn't need anymore, including some of these cups, and I grabbed one because it was just gonna be thrown away. And this is like the cup I drink water from every day. Yeah, I miss the free stuff of being audiovisual person, because like they would, usually the stuff was like lame, but every so often they'd bring like something cool, like a reusable collapsible straw, which I lost. Cups were common, sometimes shirts, so I'd just be repping random shirts from like random companies. Cups and mugs were the best ones because they were usually pretty good quality. A lot of times there would be junk, like pop sockets for your phone. Like nobody wants those. Or like really cheap headphones, or like just stuff like that, right? But cups were always the best loot you could get, or like backpacks. Those were like pretty rare, but when you get them, adjust my mic for a second. Like things like backpacks were cool. And then food, of course, was also the best thing. I remember, I've talked about this job I think before, but my previous job was a corporate AV technician for a private company that did work specifically for one other company. We were like their go-to technicians, and that company, what they did was they held corporate conventions for other companies, right? So they were like the managers of the convention. So it's like if there was a healthcare convention, this company would get contracted to manage it, or like a cybersecurity convention. And then we were their contracted AV people, because a lot of times when you go to hotels or event spaces or convention centers, they will have a on-site audiovisual team, and it will usually be from a company like PSAV, which rebranded recently into Encore, or there's a couple other big AV companies. Encore is the biggest one in the United States, and they're a international company, so they're all over the place, they're all over the world, but they're mostly in the United States. Encore used to be a competitor to PSAV, but PSAV bought Encore for the pandemic and then rebranded as Encore, which is a bit weird, a bit of a weird choice. I think because PSAV didn't have the best reputation. Encore had a slightly better reputation, so they just bought them and then became them. Kind of weird, but sure. But I worked for PSAV and Encore for a little bit after that as well. But before that, I worked for a private company, and we would do corporate conventions where we would. That was quite a fun job, because we would be able to travel all over the country, and we would stay at 5-star hotels during the space of the convention, because the company that we worked for didn't want to use the on-site hotel or resorts audiovisual team. They wanted their own audiovisual team who knew how to do it their way and could do it the same way every time. Also because hotel audiovisual teams are of variable quality, right? Like it's kind of, you don't know what you're gonna get. You're either gonna get a team that has no idea what they're doing, or like a team that's decent. And they usually don't really care that much, and they're usually juggling a lot of different responsibilities. So they wanted to have a private audiovisual team that traveled with them. So we would bring all of our own equipment, right? We wouldn't use any of the hotel's equipment besides like their power hookups. And we would go to these 5-star hotels, and we would offload all of our equipment, which would be, you know, like TVs and TV mounts and computers and projectors. And we had a couple of large LED panel screens that we would set up, you know, microphones, things like that, right? And then they would also have they would have their own like furniture team that would bring in like couches and like stuff to dress the stage up with their like colors and all that. We also did video stuff, so we'd bring like high quality cameras and video and stuff. I didn't really know a whole lot about video. I'd get put on the cameras pretty often for like the keynote speeches and stuff, just because, you know, somebody needed to do it. But I essentially had no idea what I was doing. I would have one of my supervisors set up the camera, like the white balance and the saturation and all that, and then I would just kind of make sure the camera's kept in focus through the duration. But yeah, that was a cool gig, because we would go to these corporate conventions, and we would they treated us really well for an AV team, because AV teams usually get like completely abused, right? They're the people who get blamed for everything. They just get yelled at constantly. People treat them like trash. Like the same with like hotel staff, right? People treat hotel staff like trash, and like maids and stuff, they treat them like trash, just because they're disrespectful and garbage people. Not the staff aren't garbage people. The people who treat them like trash are the garbage people, right? Because they think they're like so cool and like better than everyone else, right? But yeah, usually AV teams get treated badly, but that company treated us very well. They were very nice to us, and again, they would get us rooms for in these hotels, right? Because they're like, we want you on call 24/7. We want you available at a moment's notice to come down and fix anything. We want you also to be working till midnight, setting things up the night before, and then get up at like 5 in the morning and get things set up. So it was a hard day's work, when we would do those jobs, because it was like we get there a day early after traveling all day, sometimes traveling for multiple days. I would usually fly in. I would have them fly me in because I didn't like doing the driving part, and I would always like complain about doing the driving. So I would usually fly in, and some of the guys would drive in the truck, and also like we couldn't fit everyone in the truck, right? So it was like, if I really didn't want to be in a truck, they're like, well, yeah, that's fine, because we can't fit everyone in the truck anyway, so we'll fly a couple of you guys in. But the truck guys would get the hard work of having to drive the truck all day and all night to wherever state we were going to, and then I'd fly in, I'd show up, Uber in to the resort or the hotel, and then we would spend a hard, long day setting up the day before, like a 12-hour day, nonstop, setting up LED screens, microphones, mic checking, TVs, getting the convention space ready. And the hardest part was getting our equipment to the location, right? Because we'd have to get to the hotel, find the security staff, get the clearance, find the loading dock, which maybe is in a good location, maybe in a terrible location. We have to, super dangerous too. I'm surprised none of us got seriously hurt with how we were unloading stuff on, like on rolly cases with 100-pound steel bases for truss and trestle for lighting and stuff. Rolling them through these hallways behind these hotels, getting on freight elevators, going through the kitchens a lot of times, like the back of house of the hotels. Very easily could have like lost a finger when like one of those rolly cases with the 100-pound steel bases would like hit a wall or something. And we were usually kind of in a hurry. So not very safe. Which is why I'm not going to say the name of the company, because I don't want to be a rat. But yeah, and then a full long day of work setting up. But the nice thing is then we would get to stay in the nice resorts for the duration of the job, which would usually be about 3 days. So we'd finish late at night, midnight, 1 a.m. We'd have to get up 5 in the morning the next day. So it's like, we have to be on site because we don't have a lot of time to sleep. And we got to be ready to go. But also we would get to eat whatever the attendees were eating, which is very rare, extremely rare that the company treated us that way, and very I have very good things to say about them, complimentary things to say about them, because they did that. And like when there would be the dinners at the keynotes, right? The keynote speeches, if you don't know, a keynote is like one of the highlight speeches of a convention, right? You have a keynote speaker that's somebody usually paid for by the organizers to come give some sort of speech. A lot of times there'll be some sort of micro celebrity or some sort of well-known business person or something like that. So we would of course be all hands on deck for those keynote speeches because they had to be perfect. We'd set up the teleprompters and the microphones and the visuals and stuff, and record them, of course, because they would live stream them and broadcast them and all that. But after the keynote was over, there's usually a dinner. At least there's usually a morning keynote and an evening keynote. Not usually a lunch keynote. Sometimes there is, but it's usually breakfast and dinner as the keynotes. But it's usually a dinner provided by the resort after that, and they would give us a table usually in the back corner of the room, and we would get to eat the food, which was very rare. And not only that, we would be in the room, right? So they were like, we were in a back corner, but it's usually, people like that get relegated to behind in the back of house, behind the curtain, it's like, don't look at the quote unquote, the help, right? But they were like, they treat us with a lot of respect, and they're like, yeah, go ahead. Here's a filet mignon. And of course we would have to be paying attention, right? If anything needed to be, the work came first. Like if a random like speaker wanted to like start giving a toast or something, it was like, oh, quickly run, like sprint over there, give them a mic, so it wasn't like we were just like hanging out. But we would, and like if like sometimes like if the speech would roll over, it's like, oh man, like our food's just sitting on the table getting cold because this keynote speaker wants to blabber on past his time, and like everyone else is eating and we're just like still manning the mics, and like then they like want to finish up, and it's like, oh man, we don't get our dinner till like 11 p.m. and it's all cold and sitting there for 4 hours. But still, like the fact that we even had dinner was like pretty cool. And it would sometimes be kind of fancy stuff too, like gold flecked steaks. I always thought it was so stupid when they put gold flecks in the food. It's like, it doesn't add anything, right? It's just a bougie thing. Like, oh, you're gonna eat gold. It's such a wasteful and dumb thing, because gold doesn't have any taste, right? It doesn't even taste metallic, right? Like, if you put a piece of tinfoil in your mouth, it's gonna taste sour and gross like tinfoil. But if you put a piece of gold in your mouth, it does not taste like anything. It's purely a visual thing, right? But yeah, so they would do things like that, and usually the food was not very good. It would usually look really good. It'd look really fancy, but it usually would not taste very good. It was like one of those things where it's like, man, I'd rather have like McDonald's, because it's very much like a visual thing. And it's usually done by the hotel culinary staff, and it's one of those things where it's like, it'd be like good home cook style food is better than fancy looking food. Although I do like fancy food, if it's from a good restaurant, right? I really like the idea of going to a multi-course meal that's an experience. Yeah, so true. Yeah, like, especially in Japan, because like, you know, when you can get a meal that is an experience meal where there's multi-course. I like multi-course meals where there's only, you don't really get to pick. Like, there'll be like 2 or 3 options. Like you can either get the sea bass or the steak kind of thing, right? And then like you get a salad and a soup and like an appetizer, and then the dessert, and then the main course, and then like the aperitif, and you know, whatever. Obviously not something to do often because it's expensive, but maybe like once every 6 months or something, to go to like a really fancy place with like friends and like do like a whole experience, because it's really fun. I really enjoy it. I'm dropping like $100 on a meal. I haven't gone in a while to a place like that. Probably a year. I haven't had like a nice meal in a long time. But we are going to, as in me and my sister, are going to a speakeasy again in next month, because I messaged her the other week and I was like, I want to go do something. So we're going to, let me get a picture. You're gonna like this. It's pretty dang cool. Captain's seat. Save image. Downloads. Just save a picture. So this place is a speakeasy, which if you don't know a speakeasy, it's just like a bar. Usually they're kind of hidden for some reason. I don't know. I think that's just part of the gimmick. But we're going to this place. We've been here before. We're going in circles. This pirate themed place. We actually sat, when we went before, we sat at, I think, this middle one. And they have, and then here's the front. Here's like the main bar, right? And it's like very mood lighty, right? And like cool in here. Pirate themed thing. And there is a gin bar in the back, which we didn't go to when we went. Let me get a picture of the gin bar, because gin is my drink of choice, my liquor of choice, but it's not very popular. I think a lot of people don't like gin, but I do. But we didn't go. We'll probably go to the gin bar this time. See if I can kind of get an angle at the gin bar. Be some kind of undressed up. Yeah, modern pirate clothes. That would be fun. If you can see back here, there's this doorway in the very end with the red light under it. That's where the gin bar is, right? So here's the main bar, and then there's the gin bar in the back, which I will give you a report on if the gin bar was cool when we go. And then here's the front. That's a tiny picture. This is gonna be really fuzzy, right? It's kind of like that. So yeah, we've been to this place before, and it was very, very cool. It's an 1.5-hour limit, which is plenty of time, right? To be sitting and just drinking cocktails. And then there's another one we're not going to, but we've been to before. The last one we went to is called, I'm going to share this just because it's so funny and cool. Find the entrance of this place. So here's the exit. Let me save this. So speakeasies are really fun. And it's cool in kind of where I live in Southern California, speakeasies are kind of popping off right now, right? A lot more of them are just appearing because, you know, it's trendy and just kind of cool. Young people like it. Okay, here's a picture of the entrance. I'm gonna pull this up because this is cool. This is the coolest entryway to a speakeasy I've seen. Because if you don't know the history of speakeasies, they were where you would go to drink alcohol during Prohibition, right? When alcohol was illegal. So they would be sneaky little places. But see this? So this is a big like food court place that has like a ton of restaurants. And I'm trying to picture of the actual place. And this place is really cool. I don't go very often because it's not super close to me, but this place is really cool. It's like a big food. No, this is a huge picture. Food place, right? With like tons of different food options. They have music usually here. You know, this kind of thing, right? But randomly, between some bars, there's this spot right here, right? And you can see right here, there's a orange spot, yeah, because Orange County is the lore behind that. I think you can see my mouse kind of. I know it's kind of going off screen, but on the left-hand side, you can see a little table kind of thing, countertop with a seat. So there'll be like a hostess right here, right? But there's no signs or anything, right? So the entryway is this wall of sake barrels, right? That's the door. And so to get in, you go into the sake wall. And you can see here there's a little tiny rabbit sculpture. So that's the door handle, right? And there's like, it's crazy because there's like no signs or anything. Like, you would not know this place was here if you didn't know it was here, right? But it's like, it's totally like an Instagram-y place, right? Where it's like, if you know, like, check out this cool place in, you know, blah, blah, blah. So that's the way in. And then the way out is also hidden. The exit is here, right? You get all these like fake boxes on the wall, which, you know, you're in this big place full of restaurants. So you kind of just don't really look too much at this. You're like, all right, some boxes, whatever. But also a secret door, right? The way out. Which is so goofy and silly, but it's also very cool. And then, if I have a picture of the inside, is this the inside? No, inside. This one's not as interesting on the inside. It's cool. It's not as cool as the pirate themed one. But what they did, they sometimes will do like a themed decoration. So when we went, they had Harry Potter kind of themed, which was very cool. This is the inside. I'm just putting these over my overlay so they look like trash. Man, that picture did not look good, but you can kind of make out what it looks like. But what's cool about this place is that they serve absinthe. I almost said Aperol. Which, if you don't know, absinthe was recently re-legalized, I suppose, in California. Absinthe is a very strong drink made from wormwood, I believe, or it at least has wormwood in it. I don't know if it's made from wormwood, but it was really popular back in the olden days, right? I think like the 20s, probably like the 20s, roaring 20s kind of thing. And it's served in a very specific way. If you are not familiar, I may pull a picture of it. What do you call those hidden bars again? Speakeasies. Yeah, speakeasy, exactly. Absinthe is cool. So this is how they serve it. And and this is a pretty typical way. So how you make absinthe is you can kind of see it right here. If you look at this cup, there's a spoon. You can't really see the spoon, but there's a spoon with a sugar cube on it, right? So this big green thing is full of water. It's looks like it's got something special, but it's actually just full of water. And it's got like a green light in it to be cool. But if you look, the absinthe is actually in the cup already. You can kind of see a green liquid in the bottom of the cup. And how you make absinthe is you put the absinthe in a cup, and then you put the absinthe spoon on top of the cup, and you put the sugar cube on top of the absinthe spoon. And then you slowly drip water over the sugar cube and into the absinthe, right? And I don't remember what the name of that process was called. But then it will make it'll fill up and it will make the absinthe cloudy for some reason. And then you can drink the absinthe. So absinthe itself is green, right? You can kind of see it, it's green in here. But you pour the sugar and water into it very slowly and it becomes like a cloudy white. And it's very strong. It used to have, when it had wormwood in it, it used to be hallucinogen potentially. I believe for a long time they banned wormwood in it, so you could get it in like California, but you could not get it with wormwood in it, which was part of the flavor. But the wormwood was what would cause the hallucinogenic effects. Recently they re-allowed it with wormwood, but it's heavily regulated. And I don't know if it's really hallucinogenic how they do it now. I've had it before with the wormwood, and I didn't hallucinate anything, obviously. It was just like a strong liquor. And absinthe famously tastes like black licorice, like intensely like black licorice. So if you like black licorice, you'll like absinthe. If you don't like black licorice, you will hate absinthe. And like I said, it's quite strong, but I like black licorice and I like the whole ritual of it, and it's just cool. And it's kind of a little bit gimmicky, but it's cool and it's rare, right? So it's like when I get the opportunity to get absinthe, I will usually get it. Not usually, but sometimes I'll get it. Here, I'll get it a better picture of an example of an absinthe spoon and cup. Here is a absinthe spoon and cup, or absinthe cup and spoon. That's what I said. So yeah, so the spoon. Oh, get rid of this one. Come back. The spoon is usually like this, right? This is the specific style of absinthe spoon. They usually are like this triangle, and they have all the holes in them, right? And so you put the sugar cube on top. You straddle it over the cup, and then you drip the water into the absinthe with the sugar. So yeah, when was absinthe popular? In the revival of the absinthe began in the 90s. When was absinthe popular? 1860s. Yeah, that sounds about right. So yeah, back in the 60s. But yeah, that's absinthe. Another. Can you tell I like ritualistic? Ritualistic sounds weird, but like drinks that have like a routine to them, right? Like tea, absinthe, right? It's kind of like making tea. I like the whole gimmicky, fun part of it. We are almost done with the tea. Not, it's gonna spill. The tea is quite cold now, but this tea would make excellent green tea. It tastes very good still. A lot of times at work, but when my tea gets cold, I won't keep drinking it. I'll just dump it out. Because a lot of teas don't taste good cold. But this one is very good cold. We are finished with the tea. I'm gonna get a little dehydrated. So, a little hungry. I haven't eaten today. It's 11:30. But that's pretty typical for me. Sometimes on weekends I won't eat till dinner time. I've been doing that a lot lately, just, what do they call it? Fasting. And it's like a lot of people will do it like for health benefits or whatever, but I'm just like, I just don't want to eat today. I do it usually on Tuesdays at the very least, because Tuesday is Taco Tuesday. So I will not eat anything till the evening when I can have tacos. Thank you for the stream, Zeffy, and for the fun little drink lore. Yeah, thank you for coming. It's very late for you. I don't know why you're still awake. I assume you're a night owl person who just is always awake. But yeah, thank you very much for coming to my tea time stream. I would like to do these more, just as a way to start my days on the weekends. It requires me to wake up, which is something I need to work on, but we will work on that. Yeah, the tea is finished, and so too soon shall be the stream. I should make like a specific outro, like a poem. The tea is finished, like the end of Midsummer's Night Dream. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea, actually. Like a Midsummer's Night Dream style Puck monologue, tea finish stream ending monologue, about good company and good tea. Yeah, this is super fun. Enjoyed it a lot. Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful morning at this point for you. And if anyone else is still kicking around, I hope you have a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, or night. And I will see you at some point, at some time. Bye-bye.